Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. My name is Alex Funk. Today I'm going to be going through all of my journaling techniques and journaling habits, how to get into journaling, how to start, how to keep it going. And if you could do me a favor, smash the like button. If you get value, leave me a comment, pass the video along, hit subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that a ton. But thank you for being here, and here we go. All right, so today we are going to talk about how I journal on a regular basis and how I journal every day. So I have 3 journals that I'm going to go through with you. One of them is my 1 line a day journal. One of them is my Jim Rohn leadership journal. And then the third one is my everyday action pad. Now this one, you can kind of not call it a journal, but it's an action pad, as you can see right here, every day that I write my to-do list on and stuff like that. And I cross things off as I go. And I write my goals on the backside of these. So I'm going to start with first journal, which is my 1 line a day. So journal number 1 line a day, a 5-year memory book. If I go through this, I have journaled, as you can see, every day, okay, in this thing for the past, at some points, 5 years straight. So how it works is every day is a page in the journal, okay, and then as I fill it out over the course of 5 years, every day, right, gets the 1 lines filled. It's not 1 line; it's like 1 block. But I can go back all the way to 2020 and at the beginning of it, 2019, and I can tell you exactly what I was doing, exactly how I was feeling, exactly what was going through my head, what I was struggling with, what I was doing well with, all the way back for now almost 4.5 years. And by the time this is filled up, it'll literally be 5 years of my life in this memory book that I fill out every night or the next morning. So this is the first journal. I would highly recommend it. It's awesome. It's so awesome to look back and just see perspective of, what my struggles were. And usually when I gift these to somebody, it's when they're going through like a breakup or something like that. Because even for me, when I go through my 1 line a day and I go back to, the last breakup that I had in early 2020, just seeing how much it tore me apart and how, just how far I've come from who that person was is so cool to see. And so that's what I would say is one of the coolest things is just looking back at like who that person was, what that person was going through, being able to have those memories and being able to have all of that documented for some time in the future. So I think that's so cool. 1 line a day. It's the first journal, and that's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I think they're $13 on Amazon now, maybe 15 or something like that with inflation, but I bought 30 of them. So if you can't afford it, if you don't want to buy it, let me know. I'll send you one for free. It's on my dreams list to gift these to as many people as possible. So that's the 1 line a day journal. Now, second one here, okay, is the Jim Rohn journal. Now, this I use every day to kind of just like what do they call it? Brain dump my thoughts. So basically how the Jim Rohn journal works is it's just an empty journal, just like this. There's no prompts, there's nothing like that, but it literally is just empty pages. Now, what I use it for is brain dumping, okay? Just getting everything out of my head and onto a piece of paper. I also use it for a lot of planning stuff. And so when I think back to the strides that I've made in the past 8-9 months or so, even you can tell like with this channel, just getting a lot more clear on who I'm trying to serve and the impact that I'm trying to make and what I'm trying to accomplish and all of those things. And we bought another house and the strides in my business and in my relationship and being engaged now and just all the things in the relationships around me. I've gotten so much more clear on just who I want to be, what's important to me, what I'm willing to sacrifice, what I'm not willing to sacrifice, and all of that just by having empty pages that I'm committed to 1 page a day in my journal that I just brain dump. Now, if you're like, well, I've, have a notebook or I have a journal and I'm not, I don't have that habit. I think one of the easiest ways to get into a journaling habit is getting journals that do have prompts. And so you can find journals like that. The journal I used at the beginning of my journaling life 4 years ago, it's called the Best Self Journal. And, I'd recommend that as well if you want to look into that. But that has a bunch of prompts that kind of got me started on the journaling path. So now I use a blank journal. I journal at least a page every day. I also once a week will sit down with my journal and I plan out every category of my life in alignment with my goals. So when it comes to planning every category of my life, for me right now, those categories, number 1, health. I'll just go in order. Health, today, money situation, personal and spiritual growth, my love, my main business, my real estate investments, future business, plans, music and creative pursuits, my content and brand building, adventure/dreams. And then the last three are the community and mastermind that I'm looking to build, the community and mastermind that I'm looking to build and planning for that, and networking. Then the last two, family and friendships. And then the very last one, personal routines. So what I'll do every week, usually Thursday afternoons, but sometimes I have to push it to Friday mornings or Friday afternoon, is I'll sit down and I'll go through those 12 categories in my journal. In each category, I'll just assess how am I feeling, what's the truth, and I'll just kind of course correct and make sure that I'm always giving awareness to the things that matter the most to me and not. This is my way of just staying off of autopilot. So first journal, 1 line a day journal. Second journal, just a blank journal. I like the Jim Rohn journal. It's like $40. It's worth every penny. It's an amazing journal. I do a lot of weekly planning and then just daily assessment of what's going on in my head. My last journal, I guess, isn't technically a journal. It's my planning sheet, and from the company Best Self, it's called the Project Action Pad. Now, what I do with this every morning, this you can see is a bunch of Sharpie. I'm a big cross things out kind of guy. But what I do with this is maybe I'll make another video about just my time management systems that I have set up for my life between Google Calendar, and then I have a priorities awareness sheet, and then I have daily priorities that get into a weekly template that resets every week. So nothing is ever slipping through the cracks. Every message gets responded to, every email gets responded to. Some of them just take a little longer. Every missed call gets called back eventually. But all of this system works with this priorities awareness sheet or project action pad. In the morning, I write down everything on the left side that I need to get done that day. Okay. And then throughout the course of the day, I'm going to try to find one where you can see groups of 3. Here's a couple days ago. You can see the things on the left had to get done that day. And then on the right, or groups of 3 throughout the course of the day. That is how I just make sure that I'm not like, oh my gosh, 20 things to do, but it's always like, okay, these 3 things, boom, 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 throughout the course of the day. And that way, I can go eat food, I can go to this, go to that, and come back and just finish the 3 tasks that I have as the main priority. On the back side of these sheets is where I keep my goals. So for me, I have goals in every category for the next 6 years. And then I also have 12 goals for this year. And I have my 5 core values. So I scribble it really fast because for me, it's like, I know exactly what it is. So I just scribble it. That's not my handwriting. But when I do my goals and stuff, I do write it really fast. But I write these down every single day. And that's just to make sure that I know exactly where I'm going, exactly the path to get there. And the reason I do 5 years out for my goals, like a 5-year plan every year, is because for me, I look at every big goal, every big dream as kind of like there's benchmarks to it. So example, 5 years out in my creative category is release an album. The year before that, in order to be on track, the year before that is play live, like play live concert. The year before that, which is next year, I have 10 original songs that I've written and can play. And then this year, it's be able to play 5 songs on the piano, 5 songs on the guitar. And I'm up to 3 songs on the piano. It's April, so I have a lot of work to do, but it just keeps me on track in that goal. So the 5 years out, the 6 categories that I have goals for are health, wealth, happiness, creative, relationships, and then income, work, income, job, whatever in that last category is most relatable for you. And then for the yearly, so for this year, I have 12 goals. I have my love. So that's my relationship. I have more specifically friendships. So a goal this year around friendships, key friendships in my life. I have a goal called adventure. So for example, this year, the goal in adventure is I have a lot of tropical dreams on my dreams list that I've never done. So the adventure goal this year is go on my first cruise, do all of the tropical dreams. Then I have environment is on there. An environmental goal by the end of the year. Health goal I already talked about. Intellect goal, so to learn something in particular. So for me this year, that is learning how to buy a business, like learning how to acquire a business if I wanted to, which is connected to longer term goals. The category skills we already talked about. There's a spirituality category that's centered around my faith. Income I already talked about. Wealth I already talked about. Relationships I already talked about. So that's like family relationships goal by the end of the year. And then the last one is a community goal, which for me, by the end of the year, my goal is to get into this very particular mastermind that I'm super excited about. That just costs like a lot of money. I'm just not there yet, but I'm super excited about the possibility of that, which is why I write it down every day to keep me in line. So that is what this last notebook is for. So every day, right, these 3 things. And the reason I thought, this would be a good video to make is because I was sitting here trying to decide which video to make, and I was looking at these 3 journals right here, and I thought, you know what, I feel like that's a pretty good, because people say, get into journaling and you should journal and journal your thoughts, but it's hard to even know where to begin. So, you probably think of journaling as just a blank journal, like, what do I write? There's all kinds of prompt journals, but another thing that you can do is just look up prompts online. There's little note card stacks of journal prompt cards that I have from the company Best Self. If you go to Best Self, they have like journal prompts on their website in the card form. And then there's also just prompts online. One of the things I did back before I found Anna, my fiance, is I looked up self-love prompts and I did 100 days of love. So every day my page in my journal, this was in 2021, the page in my journal was a journal entry about self-love, because I felt like after I went to Tony Robbins, I realized I didn't even love myself. There was a lot of things I didn't love. And so thought I didn't. So I did 100 days of love in my journal. But you can look up all kinds of prompts and things like that. But trust me, my life, since I started journaling daily last September, I have more clarity, more energy, more excitement about just where my life is going, and a lot of clarity around, like, there were a lot of things I thought I wanted that over the course of the last 6, 7, 8 months, I've realized through daily introspection that it's not actually what I want. And so that's what I really encourage. The answers are within you. The answers are, if you give yourself space to dig them out. And something I heard one time was, if you want to go deep in within, write, and you'll find the answers. So, all right, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. If you are here all the way through, we'll see you next time.